Hey everyone, welcome back to a little cooking video I'm going to do for you, and I like to call the art of cooking. Today I got my special guest with me, and we're going to make some cupcakes for you. And if you want to follow along with us at home, all the ingredients are right out here for you. We'll need 3 eggs, a bit of flour, a bit of oil, a bit of vanilla, a bit of butter, a bit of baking soda, a bit of baking powder. I get those all the time mixed up. A bit of milk, a bit of salt. You can use any kind of salt you want. We're using Himalayan salt. And then sugar. I already said flour.
You're going to need your utensils, bowl, spoons, anything you really need, spatula, whatever. That's just beauty in children. It's good to have on hand.
Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is come over here and preheat the oven. Now what you're going to want to do is preheat the oven to 375 Fahrenheit. We don't do Celsius. We're not heretics. So yeah, we're going to, while we're waiting for that to cook, we're just going to put all this stuff together. Alright, so what you're first going to want to do is to throw in about 3/4 of a cup of sugar into the bowl. Then what you're going to want to do is start creaming the sugar and the butter together until it makes a nice creamy and fluffy little thing. So he's going to be working on that, and while he's working on that, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor. So this is basically what you're going to want your butter and sugar to look like. All nice, creamed up, whisked up. The other tool we were using didn't work properly, so I decided to use a spoon.
Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the cremated butter and sugar and move it into a larger container, because now we're going to add the eggs.
Alright, so this is now where we're going to want to add in the eggs. So just going to want to drop one at a time in there.
And then we're going to beat them to a very fine, creamy consistency. So you want it, when you're beating eggs, you want to make sure you have a very fine rhythm.
Then you want to do one after the other. Then as he's going along, I'm just going to keep dropping them in there. And once you're all done there, you got to get it up nice and fine. And once it's nice and fine, you'll have the nice yellowness of the egg and the nice crunchiness of the shell. Alright, next thing we're going to want to add is we're going to want to add in the flour and vanilla and then the baking soda.
Yes.
Now for baking soda,
as you can see, we got this nice consistency. You want to make sure it looks like this before you move on to the next step.
yes, as I was saying, now for baking soda in general is just kind of generic, so I always like using Dr. Pepper. So you want to just add in a nice touch of that. When it has that little fizz, that means it's doing real good.
And you got to make sure to stir it very smoothly while adding it. And then next we're going to add, what are we adding?
Now next, we're going to add in the flour. Alright, for the next bit, what you're going to want to do is just add in a good bit of flour. Now, here, we're not going to want to add too much flour because we're not making dough. We're making batter. Now for batter, you're going to just need an even amount. And also, if you're bound to mess up and you added in too much flour, which I think we've added in just enough. We've added in just enough. So, but if you add in too much flour, that's okay. Just add in a bit of liquid. For example, the oil.
Yeah.
The next part is the oil.
Yeah, and you got to be very careful though, because if you add in too much flour and don't add in more liquids, you'll end up beating it too much, and then you'll get charged with the salt and battery.
Then the next thing that I always love adding is vanilla. Vanilla just gives it that nice good old flavor, and it just always sets you in a good mood.
I love the smell of vanilla in the morning.
Oh yes. Now,
and here I want to demonstrate what the batter should look like.
next we're going to want to add the milk. Oh, that's not the right one. We're going to want to add in the milk. This may be expired.
Don't worry, it'll be just fine. You won't even notice.
Something to baptize a baby in.
And after this, we're actually going to change our stirring utensil once we add the salt.
Yes, because now it's going to have that nice liquid paste. We're not going to need something we are not going to need something as hard and sturdy as a wooden utensil. What I like to use personally is I'll have my guest demonstrate what he likes to, or what we like to use. Guest, you want to come on up?
I've turned it away. And now we need to add in the salt.
We need to add in the salt. All right. So something I found to always get messed up is the difference between salt and sugar. Now for this, it's pink. That's why I like Himalayan salt, because it's pink and I can tell the difference easily. But if you just so happen to have that the regular white salt, then that's going to be a problem, because if you accidentally mix sugar and salt together, that's not going to be cool. Because then you're going to have sweet and salty and it's just going to taste weird. It's just going to be like an old oh, what you doing with my mouth, buddy?
You're probably wondering why we're using bread. The reason is because it makes just a much smoother motion. Because now we've gotten, as you can see, we've gotten rid of all the clumps, and now we just want to keep it this smooth consistency. And another very nice aspect about using bread for stirring is you never need to worry about going hungry.
You'll never go hungry. Now next I like to add something a little for the kids, for the little kiddies who think they're all hot and cool. Speaking of hot and cool, I got sriracha sauce. We're almost out on this one. We're just gonna dump some sriracha sauce in there.
Again, if you got disobedient children, this is very good practice. Just gotta spank the bottom of it.
Yep, just gotta give it a nice good old tap. Now another problem that I've just noticed is that if it gets on the table, it's gonna be sugary. And that's just gonna be weird. This is gonna be a sugary chili sauce.
Sweet and spicy.
Sweet and spicy. Hold on. Oh yes. Now we ran out of the other bottles, so I went out and got the big guns. So now let me check if it's actually open. It's not. Now remember, kids, always check the seal to see if it's actually open or not. If it's closed, then you're never getting anything out of that bottle.
And the thing is, if you buy it and it's open, then you're probably gonna die. Because there are some very messed up people out there.
Who knows, they may have put cyanide in it. And that's just not good.
Yeah. Actually, in the 1970s in Chicago, there was a serial killer who would take Tylenol back when it was put into capsules, who would then remove them, dump out the acetaminophen that made the pills themselves, and insert cyanide into the capsules, repackage it, and put it back on the shelves. And this resulted in the death of around 23 people. And after that, that was the catalyst to actually create all those safety precautions like sealed containers and 3 different layers of sealing.
Yeah, she ain't full. So now for the sriracha, we added in about maybe a full tablespoon. You can throw in as much as you like. We're just gonna throw in this whole thing.
It's about 2 ounces.
It's about 3-4 ounces.
It's 2 ounces.
You sure?
It's a 2-ounce container.
That makes sense. But you know, things can have different densities, and with different densities means different weights. So it could say a 2-ounce cup, but it could also be a different dense. Like lead. If you think about it, lead is a very dense metal. Same with tungsten.
Okay, now next we are going to apply these little cupcake skirts. I know, it's weird. But we didn't have any, so we just went down to McDonald's and stole these little ketchup containers. And it works really well for what we have here. Now after this, after we put these in, we're going to dump the batter into these and make the cupcakes. Stick them in the oven and watch them burn.
You want to make sure that you get each one a good even amount. And as we're watching my guests do all the work, we're just gonna make sure everything gets in there nice and fine, and make sure each one is equal.
Because we're all equal.
Because we're all equal.
Yeah. And actually, you might remember that we were using eggs. Did you know that egg is the most popular form of child to consume?
All right, now we traded positions. I'm gonna let my friend here just start throwing them on. I'm gonna start dumping them in, and yeah, I don't think we'll need all these, friend. I think we'll just need a few of them. We're gonna use the entire pan, but if you wanna, make sure you scrape off all the sides so you get all that excess stuff, and just all together, it should come out nice and fine. The nice shell of the egg will be a nice crunchy taste in your mouth, and all together, it should just come out nice and fine. Nice and fine. All right, now what we're gonna want to do is we're gonna want to dump everything in the oven. So, friend, you want to put that in there? And we're going to want to bake this for about 18 minutes. After 18 minutes, we'll pull them out of the oven and see how they look. And then we're going to finish them off with some garnishing and some extra stuff that it's nice to have. It's just stuff that makes cupcakes good.
It may not be necessary, but decorating things on the outside, we like to do that. We are very, very superficial beings.
All right, so now they're done cooking. We're gonna want to take them out of the oven, and then we're gonna decorate them. They're gonna be decorated. They're gonna look so nice. They're so amazing, so beautiful. You got them? All right. Look how beautiful they look already.
Oh, they actually smell really, really good.
Yeah. Oops, some of it got a little burnt, but that's all right. All of us make mistakes, and that just goes to show that.
Even professionals aren't perfect.
Exactly.
But now we're going to decorate them with this vanilla frosting, and we're also going to sprinkle them with some powdered sugar and have a secret little garnish for you. So, to get that ready, I'll do the icing.
Here's your garnishes.
Looks good. Looks good. Alright, now for the actual decoration and the toppings and everything, we used mayonnaise as a replacement for icing because some people can't eat icing, and we used Parmesan cheese for that dust effect, and for the garnish we got some nice original flavored crickets for that extra protein to make these just that little bit healthier. And now we're going to have our head chef take the first bite. Let us know what he thinks about it.
Take a nice little gander at what the taste is like. But I'll just open this up real quick, just like a regular cupcake, and just take a bite. Just take a bite. The taste. 10 out of 10. Quality. Could do a bit better. But best of all, the smell, the aroma it gives, and the texture it gives in your mouth. Absolutely amazing. 11 out of 10. No.
Pretty sure there's nothing we've ever seen that smell like.
No, not at all. In fact, I'm going in for another bite.
And I hope you all were following along and now have a new recipe to surprise your family and friends with at the next gathering.
All right, now we're gonna go around asking people about their opinions on this glorious consumption. Sir, can you give us your opinion on the delectable treat we've made?
What'd you make me?
Well, we didn't make a few, but we made it.
Well, how many? But what is it?
It's a cupcake.
Well, just try it and you'll see.
It looks awesome. Does it have paper on it?
Yeah, it's covered in paper.
I love it! How many are these and how much for it? 'Cause I'm gonna put... Oh, gosh.
Another satisfied customer.